and has the duty to look at this budget critically. And areas, we cannot increase any allocation, but we can vary allocations. I think, and let me repeat, the allocation on CAPEX for land compensation.
Minister, the indication is that your time is up.
Land compensation judgment that we should reallocate it to ministries
Honorable
to help
Minister,
you and me in our constituencies.
your time
allocate
is
it to
up.
the road minister. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I proceed to give the floor to Honorable Felix Kwachi Ofosu.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me this opportunity to contribute to the budget debate. Mr. Speaker, the budget delivered by the Minister responsible for finance proved beyond reasonable doubt that for 8 years, our friends on the other side committed economic atrocities against the people of Ghana. Among these was a flagrant waste of scarce resources belonging to the people of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, among the signs of waste was the incurring of needless judgment debts, which now compel the
debate and needless and economic atrocities. He's inviting us to debate, and what he's saying, Mr. Speaker, he should be guided by 1 through 5. Mr. Speaker, he cannot say that, Mr. Speaker, he can't. So, Mr. Speaker, he should be guided. Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether because his ministry have been given 78 million and Parliament have been given 80, that is why he's behaving that way. Please, the whole institution Parliament have been given 80. You have been given 78. Is that the reason why you are behaving that way? So stop using certain words.
Honorable Ofosu, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I need to remind my colleagues on the other side that this is a debate. So, the deputy, I have been called to debate. I have been asked to make a statement, to comment on the statement. Mr. Speaker, I'm commenting on the budget statement.
Honorable Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker,
Honorable members, order. Honorable members, Honorable Afriye, order.
Mr. Speaker, the Deputy Whip was pleading with you yesterday and pleading with all the speakers who presided to allow us to debate. He was pleading and said that the rules should be relaxed so that even as we comment, we can actually engage in debate. Mr. Speaker, nobody opposed. And I think that you have indulged us by allowing us to run commentaries that sound like debates.
Honorable Felix Ofosu Kwachi, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Finance Minister provided compelling evidence of the mismanagement of the Ghanaian economy. He put out indices that show that we inherited an economy in total disarray. So saying so does not elicit any controversy. Mr. Speaker, because our colleagues on the other side know that the Finance Minister has provided evidence of mismanagement of the economy in the 8 years that they were in power, they have begun to wage a campaign of disinformation with a view to demonizing this budget. Mr. Speaker, many speakers on their side have made claims that are untrue about allocations in this budget made to the Office of the President and Office of Government Machinery. Mr. Speaker, I happen to speak for that office, and therefore I am in a position to correct all the distortions and misinformation that they put out. Mr. Speaker, 3 claims have been made. They have said that 2.7 billion Ghana cedis has been allocated to the Office of the President, and that this is far more than what was allocated to the same office in 2024. Because of that, there is some wrongdoing. They have also claimed that 78 million Ghana cedis has been allocated to my office. And finally, they have also claimed that 50 million Ghana cedis has been allocated to the Office of the President for research. Mr. Speaker, none of these claims are true, and I will provide evidence. When we speak about the Office of the President, it is made up of 6 units. It is made up of the General Administration, the Office of the Chief of Staff, the Vice President Secretariat, Cabinet Secretariat, Press Secretariat, Policy Coordination and Delivery Units. In addition to this, Mr. Speaker, there are 24 different agencies that add up to these 6 to make up 30 different agencies, which constitute what we call the Office of Government Machinery. They have claimed that under them there were only 8 agencies. Mr. Speaker, that is not true. There were 23. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the budget on page 151, an amount of 2.711 billion Ghana cedis has been allocated for compensation. Mr. Speaker, compensation simply means wages and salaries paid to government workers. Mr. Speaker, when they were in power, the 23 agencies under the Office of Government Machinery had a total of 1,200 workers. 336 of these were political appointees. Mr. Speaker, since January 2025, President Mahama, through an executive instrument, has collapsed 7 ministries. 2 of these collapsed ministries have had a total of 7 agencies moved to the Office of Government Machinery. Mr. Speaker, these agencies alone have contributed 11,657 civil servants who are going to be paid through the Controller and Accountant General. So it is not true that President Mahama has been given 2.7 billion Ghana cedis to squander. Mr. Speaker, on the contrary, the budget of the Office of the President or Office of Government Machinery, when you look at goods and services and capital expenditure, has been cut by 419 million Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, in 2024, the Office of Government Machinery, which had 1,200 employees, was allocated 1.536 billion Ghana cedis for goods and services and capital expenditure. Now, the same entity has 11,657 civil servants and has been allocated only 1.17 billion Ghana cedis for goods and services and capital expenditure, which is a cut of 419 million Ghana cedis. So it is not true that more has been given to the Office of the President. Mr. Speaker, it is also false for anybody to say, and this is a house of record, so I wish to place it on record, that my office has not been given 78 million Ghana cedis. There are 3 agencies that I superintend, namely the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, the Information Service Department, and the Ghana News Agency. These 3 agencies alone have 2,537 civil servants. And it is these civil servants who have been allocated 78 million Ghana cedis in both goods and services. Mr. Speaker, it is woefully inadequate for them because the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation alone needs 36 million Ghana cedis to establish a presence in the 6 regions that they created. Mr. Speaker, the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation alone needs 37 million Ghana cedis to establish a presence in the 6 regions that they created. And yet, all 3 agencies are sharing 78 million Ghana cedis. So it is a complete untruth for anybody to say that I have been allocated 78 million Ghana cedis. It is also untrue that when they were in power, the Ministry of Information was given 10 million. The Ministry of Information in 2024, if you look at the Appendix A of the 2024 budget, was given 262 million Ghana cedis, not 10 million Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, as I speak to you, when you come to government information management machinery, when they were in power, there was a whole ministry that had a minister, a deputy, and 76 directors and employees to manage government information. Mr. Speaker, in addition to this, when you came to the presidency under the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia government, they had a total of 28 people managing the presidency's communications. As I speak to you, there are only 7 of us managing the presidency's communications and the entire government communications. Mr. Speaker, when they were in power, they had, at the presidency alone, they had 4 directors of communications. They had 5 deputy directors of communications. They had 2 communication specialists. They had 3 communication officers. They had 5 technical communications assistants. They had a media aide. They had a multimedia manager. They had an assistant media liaison officer. They had a communications consultant. They had a presidential advisor on media who herself had a technical advisor to the presidential advisor. Mr. Speaker, in addition to this, they had a spokesperson on infrastructure. They had a spokesperson on governance and security. They had a spokesperson on the economy. So 28 people manage communications.
Let me recognize.
Now,
are you rising? Are you rising under order 122?
Mr. Speaker, shall we put in context that what we are doing here now is debating principles. We are not debating estimates. For the sake of the first timers, we are not debating estimates. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Afriye.
It's only a caution.
Honorable.
And may we set a precedent.
Honorable
that
Afriye.
will conflict us.
Honorable Afriye, are you?
Thank you.
I think you are out of order. Yes, Honorable Habib.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the minister responsible for government communication is misleading the House. Parliament is a house of record. The number of presidential staffers he referred to was tabled before Parliament on the previous administration. The one he's referring to at the moment, on what basis is he? Is there any document before Parliament that he has to refer to into the number of presidential staffers?
Habib.
There is none.
Honorable Habib.
They have more.
Honorable Habib.
And if he doesn't
Honorable Leader, he mentioned a figure. What is the correct figure?
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Parliament have not received any formal communication from the presidency on the number of presidential staffers. In fact, you are still appointing more presidential staffers. So you cannot conclude to tell us that the number you are giving is the conclusion until there is a formal communication from the presidency informing Parliament on the number of presidential staffers.
What is the correct figure?
So why is you are saying you are misleading us?
What is the correct number? If it's misleading the House, what is the correct number?
Mr. Speaker, I'm referring to something very important, even though you are asking me this question. And I'm saying that at any given time, the presidency provide to Parliament the number of staffers. This government have not And for that matter, there's no official record on that. And you cannot sit here and mislead us unless he has a copy to show that this is the number of presidential staffers. Or else he must withdraw. He must withdraw that.
Honorable leader, I think the principle is that we start from the known to prove the unknown. So once you do not have the figure, I don't see the basis of your point of order. Honorable Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, continue.
Mr. Speaker, the law requires the presidency to submit a list of people working at the office of the president. It is made up of only 6 units, and that will come in due course. I have given you the reason why the compensation budget is what it is in the budget. It is you who went out there to misinform people in order to seek false equivalence. On this floor, you have put out figures that are false. I have put out accurate figures so that it goes on the record. Mr. Speaker, I was making the point that President Mahama is making savings. And one of the ways that he thinks he can do it is by cutting down the numbers. The entire government communication machinery, as we speak, led by myself, is made up of 7 people. In their time, they had 106 people. 78 of them at the information ministry, and 28 of them at the presidency. Mr. Speaker, it is trite knowledge that if in the past you had 106 people, and today you have 7 people, you will make savings. Mr. Speaker, let me also place on record that President Mahama has not appointed 100 staffers. President Mahama has appointed 27 staffers and 3 directors. When they were in power, there were 336 political appointees at the office of the president. Therefore, as we speak, it is a reduction of 306. President Mahama has said that at some point we will recruit supporting staff, but it will come nowhere near the legion of people that they appointed. So when anybody gets up on this floor and attempts to score political points by saying that we have given 51 million Ghana cedis for the National Women's Development Bank and giving 78 million cedis to my office, it is a palpable falsehood. Mr. Speaker, I invite you to my office anytime you are at the Flagstaff House, and you will see that I do not need 70 million Ghana cedis for any capital expenditure. I don't need 8 million for goods and services. Those monies, the monies are for the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, the Ghana News Agency, and the Information Service Department, made up of 2,537 civil servants. Mr. Speaker, I must also stress that this is a government that cares about the people of Ghana. For that reason, a total of 44 billion Ghana cedis has been allocated to various programs contained in the 120-day social contract that President Mahama signed with the people of Ghana. 13.85 billion Ghana cedis has been allocated for Big Push. 499.8 million has been allocated for the no academic fee policy. 292.4 million is going to the distribution of free sanitary towels. 242.5 million is going to the victims of the Akosombo Dam disaster. 200 million Ghana cedis will go to victims of the recent tidal wave disaster in the Volta region. 3.5 billion Ghana cedis, which is the single largest allocation, is being given to the free SHS program. 564.6 million Ghana cedis has been allocated to the provision of free curricular-based textbooks.
Hold it.
So, Mr. Speaker, let it be known that,
Honorable, okay. I recognize Honorable Habib.
Mr. Speaker, with respect to you, Mr. Speaker, when the former Minister for Defense was speaking, the front bench, when they had issues under Order 122, you give them the audience and guide them under Order 125. Mr. Speaker, the minister responsible for government communication, he said that if anybody is on this floor saying or have said that 51 million has been allocated to, no, not to him, for Women's Bank. And then 78 million has been allocated to him, then that is wrong. Mr. Speaker, it is in the budget that the minister presented it here and said 51 million for the Women's Bank and 78 million to your ministry. So don't mislead us. So when you say that nobody should say that, it is wrong. So you cannot mislead us. You cannot mislead us by saying that the minister, no. Mr. Speaker, it is on record that the minister who is here, responsible for finance, said that 51 million have been allocated for the Women's Bank and 78 million have been allocated to your ministry. It's in the budget. It's in the budget. But you see, when the finance minister is justifying that the institution, parliament you belong to, Mr. Finance Minister, you have allocated only 80 million. There's no goods and services for parliament. And yet you have given 78 million to him.
So, Honorable Habib, what then is the point of order? Understanding order 122.
Mr. Speaker, my point of order is that the minister shouldn't say that nobody should say 51 million was allocated for women's development, Women's Bank, and 78 allocated to him. And he was trying to justify it by saying GBC and rest. The most important thing is that it's allocated to your ministry. So it is a statement of fact.
Honorable Habib, Mr. Habib, what he said, is it a factual statement?
Mr. Speaker,
Honorable
Mr. Speaker, members of the minority, yesterday, precisely Honorable Kojo Opon-Kroma and Honorable Gideon Boakon have gone on several platforms to attempt to create hate for my person by deliberately misleading the Ghanaian public and misinforming them that 78 million Ghana cedis has been allocated to me. In fact, in some instances, they add my deputy Shamima. Mr. Speaker, I have to put it on record in this house that that information is false. It is true. It is true that 51 million Ghana cedis has gone to the Women's Development Bank as seed money. But 78 million Ghana cedis has not been allocated to me. It has been allocated to 3 agencies who I should pretend as Minister for Government Communications. That is what it is. And therefore, they should admit that they deliberately sought to mislead the Ghanaian public and they have been exposed. Mr. Speaker, it is mere propaganda which I have exposed.
Conclude.
Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I want the people of Ghana to appreciate that President Mahama has done more to save money for this country than his predecessor. Mr. Speaker, only 2 weeks ago, Mr. Speaker, final point.
Your time is up.
Final point. In conclusion, let them not seek false equivalence. They committed economic atrocities against the people of Ghana. Thank you very much.
Honourable members, is now. Honourable members, the 15 minutes is up. I have a timekeeper who is taking into consideration the interjections. So once I am informed that you have 1 minute more, I base it on that time to advise you to conclude. So, honourable members, that is the situation regarding the time. I take inspiration from the table office. Honourable members, it's now the turn of Honourable Dr. Afriye. Ranking member, you have 15 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you so much. And I'll make my comments, but I still stand by the position that the principles is principles. And debate on estimates gives opportunity for you to have the state agencies to bring records and interrogate them. If we mix estimates with principles, here comes the position of standing of others. Somebody will say 51, somebody will say 40, somebody will say 30. It is when you are coming before the committee that you come with your agencies to justify your positions on your allocation, and all documents are needed. But if we jump ahead and bring estimates debates here, there will always be a house like this misleading the public and don't have agencies to even justify. You'll be surprised. The 51 million or the 78 million allocated to you, come with your agencies, they will justify themselves and nobody will have a reason to come and debate this year. Why are we debating estimates ahead of principles? Why are we debating estimates ahead of principles? Are we teaching? Are we sending the right signal, Mr. Speaker? Please, table office, take note of the time. Table office, may you take note of the time. I'm only trying to put on records so that the first timers would get to know, and we don't confuse you. When we are debating principles, we must stay within the rank of principles. And Mr. Speaker, as I speak, I come on page 71. And I'll keep speaking. I come on
Majority
71.
Leader, are you up under order 122?
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, the order is very, very clear. The order says that you should not compare NITU to first-timers. Don't compare NITU to first-timers. Because what you are suggesting is that it is first-timers who will be debating figures today. But NITU was debating figures today.
Majority Speaker, you are being mischievous.
Honorable members, before having the floor, this is the document that I have as the budget statement and economic policy, which is under consideration. Therefore, if a figure is mentioned from this document, I am not in position to tell the person, don't mention the figure which is emanating from the document. That is why we allowed the former defense minister to make copious reference to the schedule contained in the budget. And it is a factual statement that he was making. So your assertion that we don't debate estimates, we debate principles, I do not know where it is coming from.
I'm clear on this position and I stand by it. My position is that agencies have the right to come before committees to make justifications of figures. And that is why we come here to make a report on figures. And in instances, they bring additional documents. We are here talking about additional documents when we don't have opportunity to meet these agencies. And I stand by this position. And I want this handled department to capture my position clearly. And my arguments, I stand by it. Mr. Speaker, on page 71 of the budget, the Minister of Finance stated that he's going to bring the Realignment Act to amend it. And for that matter, all allocations to get fund will be given it. Now, inconsistently, the Minister of Finance also comes to item 384 and states that, Mr. Speaker, we have uncapped. Now, the language in 377 is, consequently, the Carpi and Realignment Act will be amended to uncap Ghana Education Trust Fund and amend the Get Fund Act to provide full funding. Now, inconsistently, on item 384, Mr. Speaker, paragraph 384, Mr. Speaker, we have uncapped the NHIA levy. An amount of 9.3 billion has been programmed. Mr. Speaker, we are not aware of any amendment in this House that is uncapping this. So you cannot, until an amendment is made You cannot state here that it has been uncapped. Mr. Speaker, he did the right thing on 377 to say that he is going to seek an amendment. And over here, he said he has uncapped. Mr. Speaker, I stand to say that the language here, 9.93 billion, is not the uncapped amount. In fact, we anticipated 11 billion. And until an amendment is made that involves the NHIA fund, there is no way the promise of the NDC government, as in fully making funds available by uncapping, would make any meaning or any sense as far as this figure is concerned. We are waiting for that amendment, and that amount of money must be fully made available for us to understand, because the linguists vary. Mr. Speaker, as I move on and doubt the allocation of funds from the head fund to the NHIA, what I also bring on board is the politicization of healthcare. Any patient who comes to me in the hospital cares not about my political color. Never do I ask my patients where you come from. Any staff who work with me, regardless of your political standing, you don't even care about them. Just do your work and go. Mr. Speaker, if you are going to call a medical trust fund, Mahamake, this is dead on arrival. Mr. Speaker, may you take a cue from the US. You used Obamacare, Trump come, and he took it apart. And that was it. So, if you want to have a policy to stay, come clean on the policy. And now may I go into the policy. Mr. Speaker, you're talking about Ghana Medical Care Trust. And then when you go to pages 110, it says that the Medical Trust Fund will go into taking non-communicable diseases and the rest of them. Mr. Speaker, I'm here to see the kind of stakeholder sessions they will do to guide them. Yes, I have thought that President Mahama is a moderate person, and we would be in the context of health. Without politics, we are here as a mighty minority to support you, to succeed. But Mr. Speaker, you cannot have a medical trust fund that is going to duplicate the existing institutional structures, their roles, and their allocation. We have departments of non-communicable diseases. So if you are going to say, this is going to take care of lymphomas, it's going to take care of cancers, kidney, and all those things on non-communicable diseases, Mr. Speaker, it is not realistic. We have programs over there, we have directorates over there, we have units over there, and they are responsible for them. If you fully uncap the NHIF like the way the MPP also promised, and you have done, we don't have a reason to say because we did not come to power, we'll pull you down. We are going to support you. Just make the funds available to the institutions, and they will run it very well. You don't need a trust. If this goes on, you will duplicate, there will be fraud. Somebody will do it for the order, and somebody will go and take the money for the order. What I propose to them, free for a successful trust, because I'm a Ghanaian, and I'm there to make sure we all succeed, is there must be a trust. If there is a trust, the trust should look at financing. It must look at financing. Mr. Speaker, if you talk about financing, the USAID is going, Gavi is leaving, you are going to be, by the next 3 years, fully responsible for your vaccines. So a certain trust can look into the future, looking at funds to take care of this. Now, infrastructure, maintenance, Agenda 111, ABFA allocation. But if you are coming with the trust, where you are defining the trust here in your language, you limit the trust to, Mr. Speaker, the ministry will prioritize the establishment of the Ghana Medical Care Trust to support the cost of treatment of cervical, breast, prostate, childhood cancers, hypertension. Mr. Speaker, my class. This is indicated already in the NHIA benefit package. It is in this house that we approved 57 million, and that was an overall estimated cost of care for kidney-related cases. Not only even for those people in renal failure, chronic renal failure. Kidney-related cases. So if you come and put that budget here in January for us to deal with it, and you come 3 months down the line, and you are asking us that a certain trust will take care of this. Mr. Speaker, I'm saying that you are diagnosing a situation and prescribing wrongly. This is a wrong prescription. And if the trust will look at subspecialty, who says that a trust by NDC for us to support us Ghanaians is bad? It is innovation. Government is continuous. So if NDC has seen a vacuum and see that indeed we need to have a trust that will finance vaccines, take care of donors pulling out, take care of subspecialty training, which of course we don't have funds, take care of certain areas which is not there, health infrastructure, we must support them. But taking care of things that are already indicated in the NHI, we cannot support this. We cannot support this. And it is not good for us to go that tangent. Mr. Speaker, in the same vein, I come to ambulances. You come to paragraph 676. Mr. Speaker, 294 ambulances stations were fully functional, and 16 regional dispatch centers were established nationwide, enabling swift allocation. Mr. Speaker, there was this contention issues during the elections that ambulance spare parts had gone to the former president's relative and co. Mr. Speaker, we took the opportunity after elections for me to go into it because I couldn't speak about it. I always shy away from the media because I didn't understand it. Mr. Speaker, the ambulance service had made it clear that they have written to the Ministry of Health that the vendor has supplied everything and has brought all the parts and must be paid. The fact that a vendor employs somebody who had a child 18 years ago with the former president's daughter, how does it affect the role of a businessman to do his job? When he has delivered, you are moving on a slippery slope, on the part of judgment debt, and you may have to learn. You may have to learn. Yes, you will say family and friends. If somebody had a child with your family person 18 years ago and you have nothing to do with the person, a businessman have a right to employ that person. You need to be educated. That was politics. That was politics. But over here now, Mr. Speaker, ambulances, we are expecting a socialist inclined government like yours to add more ambulances to take care of parts. Mr. Speaker, you are telling us that they are running very well and they are running on parts. And all this are being maintained, yet the vendor is not being taken care of for the sake of politics. Mr. Speaker, you must learn something that if you always see things in politics, it does not work. Mr. Speaker, may I also go in one tangent? Look at this budget. It says over here, Formina is completed. Kumewu completed. These were NDC projects that were continued. The beauty of MPP's thinking, we always continue projects that NDC leaves. Whenever NDC comes, they are unable to continue. They abandon them. Mr. Speaker, they abandon them and have a reason to say so. They did so to Aerojet projects. The Aerojet projects in Wa, it was left until Akufo-Addo came. They did so also to Afari Military Hospital. It was supposed to be in Kumasi. They tried to move it to Accra. They tried to take it to the north. Eventually, after 3-4 years, it came back to Kumasi. And you are supposed to commission it because very soon they need power over there. And when the power goes to the site, it's fully well. You are supposed to see to it. That's the beauty of it. Continue it. The people of Ghana don't care about your MPP NDC. All they care about is their healthcare and their lifestyle. Must change. So continue it. Over politicization is not good. It's dangerous for healthcare. Mr. Speaker, they left Dodowa, UGMC, Rich. We gave them full budget. We operationalized it. It was under NDC. We continued it. Have you seen over here? You have stated that in the Upper East, the commissioning of the original hospitals. Mr. Speaker, they have acknowledged that in Upper East, there was commissioning of the construction of the Upper East Regional Hospital.
Honourable Member,
NPP
conclude.
does not do things in strongholds. We don't do, in fact, in the Upper East, we lost all the seats. But look at a current government, which made allocation for a hospital there. We don't have to do health care in the spectacle of politics, and that is dangerous. Mr. Speaker, I would want to also say that the enrollment of the NHIA has been good. In 2016, there were 7.5 million people. As of last year, it was 18.6 million. And that is very good. We look forward for the new regime to continue to add the vulnerable and add more people to the bracket and make a lot of funds available for them for their health care. And that will be good for us. Mr. Speaker, on this note, I end by saying primary health care is already free. So stating in the budget that free primary health care is not acceptable. Mr. Speaker, I want the minister to take note.
Honorable Afriye.
In sitting down, in conclusion.
Honorable.
All right, go ahead.
Ntoso.
I want to. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Point of correction. The Honorable said we didn't continue with the Afari project. I want to tell you that by the time we left office in 2017, the project was 65 to 70% complete. The defense minister is here. He appeared before the Committee of Defense and Interior Committee a number of times promising that the project will be completed and operationalized. For 8 good years, he couldn't complete the project. So if you're saying that NDC didn't continue with the project, that is not true.
Thank you. Honourable Member.
Mr. Speaker, at no point in my 8 years as Minister for Defense,
Honourable Member, you know the rule.
It's misleading the House.
The first thing is for you to catch the eye of the Speaker.
Oh, Mr. Speaker.
Then you can be given the floor to speak. I never did. Honourable Afriye, you have the floor.
May I reiterate to Reverend, my friend on the other side. I said the project was supposed to be in Kumasi. You wanted to send it to Accra. Then later to the north, eventually came to Kumasi. 3 years. That's what I said. Check your records. Check your records. Check your records.
Mr. Speaker, your time is up.
In conclusion, I said that Act 852, Section 25, says that the minister would have to report the NHIA funds inflow. What we are ending up is that if you tell a lie, it will be exposed. We are expecting the minister that this year, they will bring the report and we'll get to know what actually came in the fund.
Honourable Member, it's now the turn of Honourable John Jinapo.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, as Member of Parliament for the Yape Kosogo constituency, I know for sure that the Eurojet hospital projects, President Mahama played a significant role, got parliamentary approval, the land and everything was secured under President Mahama. And so please, this narrative that the NDC abandoned that Eurojet project is completely false and untrue. Facts are facts. Facts are sacrosanct. It's as simple as that. Secondly, Honorable Nitiwu, you talked about CAPEX and judgment debt. And probably that's why some people said you should wait and listen to the details. There's a GPGC contract judgment debt that your administration incurred because the then minister unilaterally decided to abrogate that contract without following due process. That contract went to the International Court of Arbitration and Ghana government lost. We are to incur a judgment debt of $170 million US. This government, being rational as it is, has decided to engage GPGC so that we can buy the plant off and pay them, so that that plant becomes the property of the Republic of Ghana. And so when you are paying a judgment debt and you want to buy the plant is multi-year. And CAPEX has to do with expenditure that gives you a benefit of more than 1 year. Goods and services are consumed within 1 year. And so when you are buying a plant and the judgment debt that has a lifespan of 25 years, you only capture that as CAPEX. You only capture that as CAPEX. So please, don't misunderstand what you see there and assume that because you see judgment debt under CAPEX, it simply means that you just be paying for the judgment. We want to buy the plant, own the plant, run it, and inject power into the national grid. So this is as simple as that. This is as simple as that. Mr. Speaker, this administration has inherited an economy that is on a downward spiral.
Honorable John Jinapo, let me recognize Honorable Nitiwu.
Mr. Speaker, the honorable member has misled the House on 2 occasions, and it will not be good for me not to point out to you and the House. First of all, the 9 Eurojet projects, all the parliamentary procedures and parliamentary approvals were done in 2008 under President Kufuor. Not under President Mahama, neither under President Mills. Mr. Speaker, the project got stalled for 6 years. Absolutely. In 2014, before they started, especially the military one. So 6 years, we kept the project down for 6 years because they were changing sites. They changed from Kumasi to Tamale, back to 37, back to Sofo Line, and back to Afari. But more importantly, Mr. Speaker, the honorable member is correcting and giving us information, which he is right, to say that they are going to pay for the plant. That's the decision of the government. It's a good thing, and I don't think that we should argue with it. But to say that capital expenditure is because it's multi-year, no, that is not it. To say that it is captured under capital expenditure because it's multi-year, capital expenditure is capital expenditure. I can award a contract today and finish it before December. It's still capital expenditure. If I'm going to build a house, no. If you are going to do multi-year, then you will need what we call commencement certificate from the Minister of Finance, because you are going to spend a budget that has not yet been awarded to you. All you need to explain is what you have done in the first part. So we'll leave it at that. We are waiting for the estimates to come, and then we'll deal with the rest of the matters. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I think my good friend is completely misunderstanding the issues. When we say capital expenditure, it doesn't mean that you spend the money more than 1 year. No. I said the economic benefit, the benefit is more than 1 year. With goods and services, you consume it in 1 year. Those were the words I used. I said consumption. So if you buy paper, the normal trend is that you consume the paper in 1 year. So it is termed as goods and services. But when you buy a car, you build a house, even if you finish paying in 1 year, because you would consume it in terms of its economic benefit, because it is multi-year, it is termed as what? Capital expenditure. Simple. Simple. Mr. Speaker, if you read the budget and you go to page 96, it tells you the true state of the Ghanaian economy. Interest rates, if you look at what this government targeted, they wanted a budget deficit of 3% or below. By the end of the year, the budget deficit had shot up to 5.2%. Inflation, their target was 5%. By the time they left office, inflation did not even achieve a single digit. It was about 23%. Exchange rate, they wanted plus or minus 10%. By the time they left office, it had reached 19.2%. Mr. Speaker, the good news, however, is that in just 3 months, under the able leadership of the venerable finance minister, the Honorable Kasiel Atufosin, Doctor, PhD, who has demonstrated tenacity, intelligence, vigor, a sense of responsibility, the interest rates have started coming down in an astronomical manner. Mr. Speaker, the city has regained resilience. And today, the city is looking into the dollar, eyeball to eyeball, shoulder to shoulder, and even attempting to shoulder off the dollar as I speak. Mr. Speaker, inflation is coming down as we speak. Mr. Speaker, in fact, in simple parlance, inflation has taken a nosedive. It's on a downward decline. Mr. Speaker, business confidence is at an all-time high. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Jinapo. Strictly under Order 122.
Mr. Speaker, the minister responsible for energy is misleading the House when he says that the dollar to the cedi is now shoulder to shoulder. Mr. Speaker, the $1 to the cedi is 15.50. Is that 15.50? Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether that is shoulder to shoulder. And if what the minister is saying is not true, for that matter, you should withdraw that. The dollar to the cedi is not shoulder to shoulder. So withdraw that.
Honorable Minister, continue.
Mr. Speaker, the facts speak for themselves. But clearly, under this administration, the economy is rebounding. The exchange rate is showing resilience and strength because you left an exchange rate at 19.2%. It's in the budget. Please. Exchange rate 19.2%. 19.2% depreciation. I'm speaking economics. I said the exchange rate in terms of depreciation, 19. But even if you say 19, what currency? I haven't even mentioned any currency. So what is the issue? I didn't mention dollar. I didn't mention euro. So where is the debate? And I'm talking percentage. Don't run away.
Please address the chair.
Mr. Speaker, there's been some debate going on, and I heard the finance minister himself make this statement. Mr. Speaker, I want to put the records here. Mr. Speaker, they said that they kept the lights on and there was no load shedding. Mr. Speaker, I'll tender this in. This is official record from Gridco, dated, Mr. Speaker, March 18th, 2025, 2024 daily coincidence of load shedding. Mr. Speaker, in 2024, January, load shedding went as far as 389 megawatts. February, 478 megawatts. March, 734 megawatts. April, 354 megawatts. May, 516 megawatts. June, 334 megawatts. August, 257 megawatts. September, 480 megawatts. October, 400 megawatts. November, 507 megawatts. Very last month, December, 720 megawatts. This is what you handed to us. Mr. Speaker, I will table this and tender it in as evidence, as part of the records, and I would wish that the Hansa department will capture this in detail and in total.
Minister, please do.
With your permission, I bow and attend the evidence. But Mr. Speaker, having tendered this in, I have printed 275 copies of this. And Mr. Speaker, with your permission, every PG hole shall be sufficiently served. Mr. Speaker, as if that is not enough, I have another document that I intend to, Mr. Speaker, all of us witness load shedding. If there was no load shedding, the minister wouldn't tell us to go and publish our own timetable. If there was no load shedding, your minister will not tell us that we should go and publish our own timetable. Mr. Speaker, it is obvious that this economy is back on track. It is obvious that we are doing the right things. Mr. Speaker, I was in Kumasi just 2 days ago. For months, the people of Kumasi had erratic power supply. Mr. Speaker, I was in Kumasi under the instruction of His Excellency President Mahama to commission a 145 MVA bulk supply point, which replaces the old transformer, which is a 66 MVA transformer. And so the people of Kumasi have good news for you. Your power will be stable, the supply will be adequate, and we are determined to hold the system and ensure that we deliver on our mandate. Mr. Speaker, in this quarter alone, fuel prices have gone down by 3 times. Not once, not twice, 3 consecutive times. Mr. Speaker, it is true. The crude, Mr. Speaker, the heckling is just too much. Mr. Speaker, I think you should come to my aid. Mr. Speaker, like the saying goes, truth hurts. And so I can see my good friend trying to bolt away. But whether you bolt away or you abscond, the truth will be said and it will be stated on this floor. Mr. Speaker, crude oil production has declined by 32%. The major oil companies are leaving. And so we are working around the clock to turn the petroleum sector and increase production. When we assumed office, WAPCO had put some constraint on the pipeline, and we could only evacuate 55 SCF. Mr. Speaker, I'm happy to announce that by the kind courtesy of the Minister of Finance, we've paid WAPCO $10 million and the pipeline has been opened. And so we can push through 90 SCF of gas to the east. Mr. Speaker, I also note that NGAS had threatened to shut down completely the supply of gas. Also, by kind courtesy, the Minister of Finance, we've paid $35 million, and now they are supplying 100 SCF of gas for power consumption. When it comes to universal access to electricity, during our last 8 years, we increased access by 30%. This government, in their 8 years, increased access by less than 8%. So we did 30, they have done less than 8. We are determined to ensure, Mr. Speaker, that we achieve universal access to electricity by the year 2030, and we are determined to do that. Mr. Speaker, we are talking of the Renewable Energy and Investment Fund. The drive now is to move into what you call the energy transition. And Mr. Speaker, in about 10 years, whether we like it or not, we are going to see a lot of electric vehicles in this country because we depend on so much second-hand cars. But our European counterparts, our American counterparts, they are moving towards EV vehicles. And so we want to be ahead of the curve. And so, Mr. Speaker, what we are going to do is to convert most of our filling stations and take some space and put in place charging stations. And today, with technology, in just 5 minutes to 10 minutes, you can charge your car and continue to move. We are also going to deploy, you don't know, BYD, the Chinese company, has come up with a new technology. That new technology, in 5 minutes, your car is fully charged. I am the Minister of Energy and Green Transition. And so when I speak on authority. I'm not a businessman. I'm the minister. So please listen to me. Mr. Speaker, we are also going to deploy solar street lights. What we want to do is to take most of the street lights off the grid. When we succeed in doing that, it deals with our peak demand, because the peak demand is always in the night. It also deals with capacity charge. And for me, that will really, really help us as far as this country's energy drive is concerned. We are working with the Ministry of Energy to put a lot of institutions in the education sector, such as schools, on solar panels. Most of these schools, what they require is lighting and maybe fan. So if we can do a lot of the rooftops, what it means is that we'll be taking them off the grid
Honorable
and we'll
Minister,
reduce
conclude.
the burden. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, what I can say is that this economy is back in the safe hands. I can say that under President Mahama, this economy would go from positive to positive. And Mr. Speaker, like Honorable Nitiwo said, we are in March and we have 4 years. So I'm convinced that 4 years from today, which will be the year after the next election, this very government will be in government and will be on this side of the house. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honourable members, I direct that the document tabled entitled 2024 Daily Coincidence Load Shedding on the letterhead of Gridco dated March 18, 2025 should form part of the record. Honourable members, it's now the turn of Honourable Sami Auku.
Right Honourable Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to comment, contribute, and forcefully make a point on President Mahama's budget statement and economic policy. Mr. Speaker, I would like to turn my attention more to page 9, where I realize the Honourable Minister for Energy and Green Transition
10 minutes.
Selectively cited figures that favors his government. But one thing that will be clear at the end of the day is that we are comparing records and also looking forward to an approach that will enhance our democracy and give our people hope. The criteria set by the ECOWAS community to enable the ECOWAS community come to a firm conclusion and realization of launching a common currency. That's what they call the convergence criteria. It's what I believe that my colleague also tried citing and selecting some of the information from it. Mr. Speaker, it is clear that when the NDC left office in 2017 January, they left a budget deficit of 9.0 on a cash basis in 2016. That's the year ending 2016. It is true that the NPP also left our budget deficit, as he cited, at 5.2. But in fact, the target set by ECOWAS, and for which he was eloquently speaking on, was 3%. But I do not need a teacher to also refer me to the fact that 5.2% is closer to 3% than 9.0 in their own words. Again, it is clear that comparing these two, we obviously left a stronger economy than what the NDC left for the NPP in 2017 January. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of inflation that he spoke about, that the NPP administration left it at 23.8%. We inherited inflation at 15.4% year ending 2016. That's correct. But again, the Akufo-Addo administration brought down inflation to its lowest for the first time in 28 years to 7.6%. And this was in 2019, if you want to refer. Unfortunately for us, we faced our own tragedies, and that with the COVID and the Ukrainian war. Mr. Speaker, not just Ghana. Germany, for the first time, experienced inflation for the first time in 70 years the highest inflation that they also had to face. The United States for the first time in 40 years. So Ghana cannot be an exception to the rule in the face of that global economic situation. So if you are citing the fact that we left 23.8%, you should also be modest to admit that before the pandemic and before the Russian-Ukrainian war, we took it down to the lowest for the first time in 28 years. And this is a matter of record. And since it's a house of record, it's important that we also state this. And it's also true, Mr. Speaker, that the benchmark set by ECOWAS during that period, and in fact, as one of the convergence criteria, also did put it at 5%. In any case, it is clear that both parties, even on that score, did not achieve that. You also mentioned the issue of the gross external reserves. If you look at also, that's page 9 and table 4 of President Mohammed's budget statement and economic policy. In their own words, the NPP left 4 months import cover, 4 months. Mr. Speaker, if I take you back to what the NDC also left us, NDC left us with 2.8 months. That's $6.1 billion of import cover. We left them with $8.98 billion of import cover. So if you come to make selective application of what you have also put to your own budget, this is not a budget presented or prepared by the NPP Communications Directorate or NPP minority. It was prepared by the NDC side and in their own words. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to also speak to one interesting matter, which for me set my heart at peace and at ease. The same benchmark and convergence criteria set by ECOWAS, they obviously put that criteria when it comes to the public debt to GDP ratio not exceeding 70%. The NDC left us with 73.1% in 2016. The NPP left them with 61.8%. So if in your own words, the health of an economy can only be measured by these macroeconomic indicators. So if in your own words, we left this health for you, you cannot accuse that same government of 1, being reckless in the management of the economy, 2, in the words of Felix Kwachofosu, my colleague, Honorable MP, economic atrocities, 3, mismanagement of the economy for 8 years. When in your own words, the benchmark set by ECOWAS, out of the 6, NPP met 3. NDC's period for 8 years, out of the 6, they only met 2. Right Honorable Speaker, let me also turn your attention, and with your leave, page 84 of the same budget statement. Mr. Speaker, with your leave, I read, that's point 478. In 2025, government will implement the following measures to keep the wage bill within sustainable levels. 1, and in capital letters, fully implement the net freeze on employment. Fully implement the net freeze on employment by immediately putting on hold all recruitment, replacement into the public service. Mr. Speaker, this is a party and government that campaigned on the back of creating more jobs for the people. This is a party and government that campaigned on the back of creating more economic opportunities for the young people of Ghana. And if we can put in black and white, then that means you are obviously shutting the door to every young Ghanaian who more or less toyed with the idea and the adventure of voting for the NDC, and now you're telling them that they cannot find space within the public sector of our country. For this, I believe it's not just unfair, it's a stab in the back, but it's also another rude awakening that clearly elections have consequences. What we will advise government to do, instead of closing the door to the many young people who desire to work, and also as part of their constitutional right to work and to be gainfully employed, is not to close this door, but to create more avenues within the public and the private sector, so that we can absorb the teeming youth that we continue on daily basis, train and also get them involved in contributing to nation building. I believe that this is also a slap in the face of our colleagues.
Honorable Nawauku, let me recognize the minister.
Mr. Speaker, this house is a house of records. And I'm happy the Honorable Patrick Boama is here. The Honorable Samia Oku says that in 2016, we left a debt to GDP of 72%. That is completely false, Mr. Speaker. I refer to the 2019 Annual Public Debt Report, page 3, table 2, recent macroeconomic performance 2015 to 2019. 2016, Bank of Ghana is public record here in this chamber. Mr. Speaker, gross public debt as a percentage of GDP, 2016, 56.8%. This is public knowledge. And it's here in this chamber. So where from your 72%? This is official record here in this chamber. Mr. Speaker, I think we should learn to say what is right and what is proper. Simple, Mr. Speaker.
Right Honorable Speaker, I'm sure my colleague is referring to the rebasing when it was done. But then, let's also be factual. In the budget statement prepared in 2017, it is trite knowledge and for matter of public record that the NDC left our public debt at an astronomical height of 73% plus. That's fact. That's fact. That's fact. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable member,
Mr.
conclude.
Speaker, Right Honorable Speaker.
Conclude.
Right Honorable Speaker. Again, I'm also surprised that my colleague also did not come back on the essential point that we also raised in the same convergence criteria. What? Can you allow him to Honorable Speaker, my colleague was allowed, in fact, uninterrupted, to also express it. Oh, uninterrupted. Honorable Minister, please. One thing that you also did acknowledge was that facts and truth are sacred. And what I want to put on record, that if today, Mr. Speaker, rebasing is done, it will not change what President Akufo-Addo did for as a matter of record. The figures might change, but what was presented to this House as at March 2025 is a matter of public record. So rebasing is a different topic we can come to. And Honorable Minister, I'll be willing to engage you in that debate. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
It's now the turn of Honorable Vincent Opon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I want to commend the Minister for Finance for the delivery, the State of Nation, the budget statement that was delivered to the House. Mr. Speaker, I recollect when we were kids, during the days of Professor Dr. Kwesi Botwe. In those days, anytime there was a budget statement, the whole nation stood still. And we also witnessed the same thing when the budgets were delivered by the finance minister. We all know what happened during the elections, the campaign promises from the other side and from our side. So Ghanaians were full of expectation. So those at even lorry parks, cars were not moving, and those who were even moving at times stopped to listen to the budget statement. And I must be frank with you, he did not disappoint. The fact of the matter is that, Mr. Speaker, just coming to Parliament to read a budget statement and at the end of it, not delivering on the budget is what we have
experience for a while. Let me say this on record. Previously, we've had budget statements where a lot of promises were made in the budget statements. I remember very well a statement was made that Accra was going to be the cleanest city in Africa. As a member of the Committee of Works and Housing, I've been a ranking member of this committee, and after those statements were made, we were very, very happy that we were going to see the cleanest city in Africa, and even gave timelines that after 100 days, we are going to see the cleanest city in Africa. Today, you go there, go to Circle, the Odor River, go around, and that is a record that the erstwhile administration bequeathed to Ghanaians. So, budget is a very important statement because I believe that during Rawlings era, the PNDC era, we didn't have parliament. So those who were born in the after the Rawlings era, we didn't have parliament. But anytime we were about to listen to budgets, because budgets were so important that it was either going to improve our lot or go to worsen our lot. And I believe that those who were living in villages, the important issues that we concern ourselves with was, are we going to increase the price of fuel, especially kerosene, those in rural areas? It was so critical. And in those days, prices of petrol and diesel was so critical in the sense that if you come to Bono and most of the regions, apart from Kumasi, we were not hooked to the national grid. We were using generators, even Sunya in the regional capital. So we will always be glued to our radio sets to listen to the price of fuel, because that was going to have a lot of impact on our lives. So budgets are very, very important. And Kesa Atuforsin, the finance minister, did not disappoint Ghanaians on that day, because there were a lot of promises that we're going to repeal a lot of taxes, and Ghanaians were there. They were full of expectation. What did they hear? They repealed the taxes, and Ghanaians were so happy. And let me tell you, I'm so confident, I have so much confidence in this budget statement that a lot of things are going to happen, and are going to experience a lot of changes in the lives of Ghanaians. Mr. Speaker, going into the budget.
Honorable Vincent Upon, I recognize.
Right, Mr. Speaker. Stand order 1 to Mr. Speaker. Honorable Kesa Atuforsin has not repealed any taxes. Point of information, he hasn't repealed any taxes. There are tax repeal proposals before Parliament, for which the Speaker has referred to the Finance Committee. Please. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I believe that the proposals...
Honorable, take note and continue.
Yes, the proposals were contained in the budget that he read. And let me tell you, my brother, you nearly lost your seat because of some of the things that your government did. You know that 2019... my brother, you know something? 2019... $250 million was approved for garage project, and your constituency was supposed to benefit from a lot of drain projects. The garage projects were supposed to cover most of the constituencies. A very good MP who was a friend also lost as a result of the government not delivering on your promises in the budget. 250
Honorable
the garage project.
The member is up again on his feet.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sorry to be engaging in this invitation. My seat was a seat that you attempted to steal but we were vigilant. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, my constituency was not part of the Garrett project.
Honorable member, you know the implication of using the word stealing. So do the needful.
I withdraw, Mr. Speaker, but there was an attempt to usurp it. And Garrett, my constituency was not part of the Garrett project. It was rather Okankwe North. My place is Okankwe Central. Thank you. But Honorable Vincent, please take note and continue.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I was talking about Garrett. You know, the Odo River. We're going to reconstruct Odo River. And if you could remember, there was a big fanfare around that area when Anado went to Castle, where they're going to redevelop the
Honorable,
Odo
he's
River.
not disputing that fact. What he's disputing is that is not his constituency.
Very well, Mr. Speaker. But it was going to benefit most of the constituencies around Odo. And I remember we went to those areas, and it was a big campaign promise by New Patriotic Party. Unfortunately, 250 million have been spent, but you go to that site, there's absolutely nothing to show. Mr. Speaker, there have been provision in this budget to ensure that we are able to secure most of our coastal communities, especially in Volta region. We know we have Adan and other communities that are being threatened by the tidal waves. And I believe that those areas, if you look at the budget allocation that is supposed to help to secure these communities, I'm so happy. The previous government did their bit. But looking at some of the figures, look at previous budgets that we have had in this parliament, almost every year a mention is made of some of these coastal projects. Unfortunately, looking at the figures, it was almost a repeated figures. That should tell you over the 4 years, not much activity went on to protect most of these coastal communities. And I believe that looking at the provisions that have been made in this budget, communities like Adan and then my brother constituency in Volta region, those places are going to be protected. And those who were affected seriously by the spillage, the Volta spillage, I believe that with this government and the provision that they have made in this budget, I'm very sure that most of them are going to get accommodation. We are going to resettle most of them. And then the phase 2 of the project that we had in some of these communities are going to continue, and we will to secure most of this environment. Mr. Speaker, another issue that I want to talk about, the provision of water. This morning, I wanted to chip in a question, but I was stopped. Before 2016, there were these major water projects that were commissioned by NDC administration, especially the one in Chebi, we have the one in Kumau, we have the one at Konongo, and then the Barakese ones. We injected a lot of resources into these projects. I wonder why, after 8 years, we are still talking about this problem. We have a lot of the reservoir, the intake point was developed, so we have a lot of volumes of water in Barakese. What is left is to put money in expanding just the pipes to pipe water to needy communities. And this is exactly what the previous administration failed to do, and we are talking about water problems here. In Greater Accra, we have the tertiary desalination plant that was constructed by NDC administration. And I believe that if MPP in 8 years have put in a lot of resources, we will not be talking about shortage of water in Greater Accra. And I must admit that 2016, the very first time water passed through the taps of communities such as Adenta and its environs was in 2016. So what has happened? We need to inject a lot more capital so that we can secure some of these communities. Water should not be a problem for residents in Greater Accra and the areas where the minority leader listed this morning. Mr. Speaker, I should also admit that if you go through the budget, we have communities like Damango, Wenchi, Sunyani, Tamale, and a lot of other places. And for the past 8 years, The previous administration spoke about it. It is in the budget everywhere. But they kept on repeating the same projects and nothing was done about these projects. And I believe that the current administration in this project is going to get a budget line and then we'll commence and complete this project so that this perennial problem in Tamale and Damango and other communities are going to be the thing of the past. Mr. Speaker, I must admit that there's a lot of hope in this budget. And I believe that Ghanaians will have to support the government to deliver on its mandate. Because all the figures that have been listed in this budget indicate clearly that the government is on the right path to ensure that we'll be able to deliver on the mandate that have been given to us. Greater Accra, the flooding situation in Accra hasn't stopped. But I am so happy that even before the rain set in, we have not even approved the budget, but I've seen some action by the government that the Minister for Works and Housing and then the Minister for Local Government are even collaborating with the military to ensure that all the drains in Accra are dredged so that in case of there's any serious we can reduce the incidence of flooding in Greater Accra. And I'm very, very happy that that initiative has taken off. Even that.
Well, honorable members, the indication is that we suspend for 30 minutes. Is that the sense of the House, or we should continue? Honorable members, it's now the turn of Honorable Asensu Boachi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise today as the ranking member for the Committee of Local Government and also a member of the Roads and Transport Committee to make a few remarks.
Honorable, that is why you have 15 minutes.
Make some few remarks regarding the budget, to debate on the budget of President John Dramani Mahama. But right from the outset, I would like to correct a statement that was made by the chairman of the Western Housing Committee that not much was done by previous government in terms of protecting coastal communities. It is on record that the Akufo-Addo administration built more sea defense projects to protect coastal communities more than any other government in history. Mr. Speaker, the following sea defense projects were undertaken by President Nana Akufo-Addo's administration: Ningo Pram, Dansuman, Anomabo, Elmina, Commander, Cape Coast, Abuaze, Azim, and Disco. So it is not correct for my good friend to indicate that not much was done, whilst he knows very well that unprecedented investments were made in coastal protection under President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Mr. Speaker, I would like to focus my intervention on 4 main areas.
Honorable Senso. Honorable member, why are you up?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have before me projects, the level of completion. You know you have not completed this project. If you talk about this court will start. It is not true. Order. I'm standing order 122. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, why are you on your feet? You are not the speaker. Why are you on the speak?
Honorable member, address the chair.
Mr. Speaker, we have DISCOM. This project was started in 2015. As I speak with you, the level of completion is 42%. Are you proud of this? For 8 years. Minister, are you proud of this? You are talking about Ningo Pram Pram. You did not start Ningo Pram Pram. The level of completion is 80%, 8 years. Are you happy with this, Mr. Minister? You did not start Anumabo. Most of the projects, you did not start them. And you are not even completed. And you are saying that your record is unprecedented. Mr. Speaker, that is your record. It is here. You can have a paragraph 5A7. You can go there and read it. That is your record. You don't have any good record, Mr. Speaker. I'm sorry.
Honorable Patricia Piaget.
Right, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I thought our honorable member was coming under a point of order, but he started speaking and debating. Please, I'd like to appeal to you with all
honorable member, honestly, I allowed him to make his point because when the former Minister for Roads was making his submission, he said the former president has done the following roads. And then his point of order is that the following sea defense. And his point of order is that what you say has been done is at a level of 42%. So for the purposes of the record, I think this is good.
Honorable Speaker, I think we needed to find out exactly what order he's coming under. Because if it is a point of information, then we know he can't just butt in and then start speaking what I could gather from the intervention.
Thank you very much for the guidance, and I'm going to go strictly by that.
Right, thank you.
Honourable Member, you have the floor.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I still maintain the point that under the Akufo-Addo administration, unprecedented investments were made in the area of coastal protection, more than any other government in the history of Ghana. And for my colleague to say that a project has achieved 42% completion rate, so it's not worth talking about, that's quite unfortunate. The people of DISCOM appreciate what Nana Akufo-Addo and his administration did, and the project is still under construction. It is the duty of the current government to provide resources and complete it. Mr. Speaker, I would like to concentrate my intervention on 4 critical areas of national importance. 1, the completion of the Accra-Kumasi Highway Dualization Project. 2, the completion of the 13 ongoing interchanges in the major cities in the country. Enforcement of strict land use planning regulations to prevent planning, and also the strengthening of fiscal decentralization and properly funded decentralization process, the MMDAs. Mr. Speaker, we all can understand that we are going through fiscal constraints. If you are not even going through fiscal constraints, Ghana as a developing country does not have the adequate funds to finance all its development programs. But Mr. Speaker, when it's like that, even in economics, the basic economic tells us that resources are scarce. And when resources are scarce, you will draw scale of preference and you will deal with the most important project first. And there are certain projects that even in era of austerity, you don't delay those projects. Because when you delay, its repercussion in the future will be too much to bear but in the country. Yes. Mr. Speaker, one of such projects is the Accra-Kumasi Dualization Project. Mr. Speaker, this road is the most important economic corridor in the country. 10 million Ghanaians
depend on this road for trade, for commerce, and daily life. Mr. Speaker, it will interest you to know that 10 million Ghanaians is equivalent to a third of the Ghanaian population. The importance of this road can therefore not be overstated. In fact, in 2001, there was a study that indicated that if we fail to dualize this very important road corridor, the economy is going to suffer hugely. And as a result, President Kufuor and his administration embarked on major intervention on this road. That is when we saw the bypasses of the Nkoko Township, the bypasses of the Nsawam Township, and the bypasses of the Chebi Township. This intervention by President Kufuor and his administration reduced travel time from Accra to Kumasi from 6 to 7 hours to 2.5 hours. Mr. Speaker, it also reduced congestion drastically and boosted economic growth. Economic growth. But Mr. Speaker, when the subsequent administration assumed office, that is the President Mills and President Mahama, not much was done as far as the dualization of the Accra-Kumasi road. Not a single kilometer was done. Yet, everybody acknowledged that is the most important road. This is the road, Mr. Speaker, that connects the nation's capital to the second biggest city in Ghana. It provides the gateway to northern part of the country, to the Sehu areas, western north, and also the Bono and the Hafu areas. So it is very important. It's a very important road. Yet, during the time of President Mills and President Mahama, between 2009 and 2016, not a single kilometer of dualization was added to the project. And as a result, travel time increased back to 5 hours, 5.5 hours, from 2.5 hours to 5.5 hours, all because of population increase, because of the neglect and the congestion and what have you. When President Kufuor assumed office, 4 major bypasses to continue with the dualization project was made. The first one is the Osino bypass. The second is the Nyinam bypass. The third is the Inyiresi bypass. And the fourth is the Konago bypass. All put together is 46 kilometers. They are ongoing. They are still ongoing. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, 100 kilometers of the 245 kilometers of the Accra-Kumasi road has been dualized. 46 kilometers is currently under construction, and we have 94 kilometers yet to be dualized. Mr. Speaker, I am calling on the government to continue with the implementation of the dualization project as a matter of urgency. This is the most important transportation project in the country, and the government must find resources to complete that. Not only that, the government must also find resources to dualize the 100 kilometers of the parts that are not dualized. I believe that once this is done, it's going to enhance the economic development of the country. Another project that is also worth considering, that I'm urging the government to continue, is the Accra-Cape Coast Takrady Road. We know the economic potential of this road. In fact, Cape Coast, Amina, Takrady, Azum is becoming the tourism centers of the country. Nana Akufo-Addo has started a big one, the dualization of Kaswa-Winneba Road. The idea was to extend it to Takrady. It is important that the government prioritizes this road and extend it to Takrady and to Azim to increase tourism potential and the revenue that will come from it. Mr. Speaker, as the country grows, population increases, there's urbanization.
the ultimate effect is congestion in our urban spaces. As we speak today, in Accra, Kumasi, Tamale, Takoradi, there are lots of congestion, people close from work, and it takes time to get to their various homes. It is as a result of this urban menace that the Nana Akufo-Addo administration completed 9 interchanges in Ghana. 9 interchanges. This stand in stark contrast of 5 interchanges by the Mills Mahama administration. But Mr. Speaker, as we speak, there are about 13 more interchanges going on. Swami Interchange, Pond Barrier Interchange, Pond Barrier Interchange, and many others. Dawenya and all that. Mr. Speaker, it is important that we prioritize these interchanges and find money to complete them, because this is going to increase productivity, this is going to reduce travel costs, this is going to enhance mobility, and that is what we need to accelerate the economic development of our country. So I'm urging the government to find money to complete these interchanges. Mr. Speaker, as a planner, a couple of people have spoken today, and they have talked about the perennial flooding that we experience in this country. I don't think there's anybody who would not want this government to take the necessary action. I'm aware of this task force that has been set up, chaired by the Deputy Chief of Staff at the Office of the President, basically to embark on excavations and desilting and all that. But that is not the kind of intervention we want for a lasting solution. This is happening because of haphazard development. And as a ranking member of local government, I'm very much concerned of how the district assemblies have been issuing permits haphazardly. It is important that we find some resources in the budget to build the capacities of these MMDAs so that they can perform their functions and make sure that they issue permits where they should and enforce strictly land use planning regulations to avoid haphazard development and to mitigate the perennial flooding that we experience in our country. Mr. Speaker, another important point as ranking for local government, I need to talk about...
Honourable member, conclude.
15 minutes. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to local government, the finance minister said he is proposing 80% of all resources to go to the district assemblies. For me, that doesn't lie with the finance minister. We know how these allocations are made. And it's by a formula. It is supposed to come from the registrar of the common fund. He is supposed to come, the administrator of the common fund. He's the one who is supposed to come and before Parliament, and Parliament will endorse it. So it doesn't lie with the finance minister. But one thing that I want to correct, the finance minister said under President Akufo-Addo, the percentage that goes to the district assemblies were below 50%. That is not correct. It has never gone below 50%. In 2024, for instance, it was 54%. In 2023, for instance, it was 64%. But Mr. Speaker, as a student of decentralization, I will support any move to make sure that there are more resources to the assembly so that they can perform their duties. Mr. Speaker, when many years ago this country decided to embark on the path of decentralization, I have said this before, especially when I was Minister for Western Housing.
Honourable member, for once conclude. We
probably did not have the idea of the enormous responsibility we were placing in the hands of these local officials. They have so much to do.
And if they don't have the resources, they will not be implement what they are supposed to do to.
And I can assure you, this is the best, most acceptable, factual, the budget that resonates with Ghanaians, especially women out there and the children. Mr. Speaker, I cannot be much happier than the day I was listening to the Minister for Finance making his statement. Mr. Speaker, I will take you straight to the issue of chieftaincy. Mr. Speaker, as a ranking member on the Committee for Chieftaincy, I was very worried when I was told I was the ranking member on chieftaincy. I said, hey, this chieftaincy, now the ministry has gone under Ministry for Local Government. What will we be doing there? When I opened the budget statement, Mr. Speaker, I was more than happy when I saw that there was going to be a Royal Academy for chiefs and traditional authorities, and it's going to be a place of excellence. I was very, very overwhelmed. These are the very first people who are the leaders of democracy in our country, because they are actually on the ground, and they are those that most of our constituents resonate with. But all along, even though we had the Ministry of Chieftaincy, we never thought of giving them an academy which would support them in the need for their activities. Here we are today. This budget and the wisdom of the NDC has given them a budget for an academy. Thanks to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for this initiative, and I hope and pray that the over 36 million Ghana cedis that has been allocated to the chieftaincy ministry, the chieftaincy outfit under the Ministry of Local Government for that matter, would go a long way to enhance their activities. Mr. Speaker, there has always been this issue of the Gulf of Guinea Northern Region's Social Cohesion Project, popularly known as SOCO. I was always asking myself, what is this SOCO about? What actually are we getting from it? Mr. Speaker, this budget told me everything. And I realized that an amount of 350 million Ghana cedis has been allocated for SOCO activities, and these monies will be disbursed to 6 regional coordinating councils, 48 MMDAs for various sub-project implementation. Mr. Speaker, some of the implementations or the projects are 618 social and economic infrastructures. And I can say this is just the beginning. 618. I know at least, if for nothing at all, every constituency would have a bite of this. Mr. Speaker, there are going to be 60 markets. From Soko, there will be 60 markets. And I will not hesitate to follow and ensure that at least my Pusga market will be catered for. It's today that we can confidently talk and see in the budget that such allocations are made, and whatever the monies will be used for are properly spelled out. Mr. Speaker, under Soko Steel, there will be 1,500 producer groups to benefit 45,000 individuals with financial and technical support. Mr. Speaker, if we have up to 45,000 only under one project, I believe it's going to go a long way to support the youth. Mr. Speaker, we had been discussing the issues of how to manage for the youth to get employment. And on page 71, paragraph 372, Mr. Speaker, there is an allocation to the Gold Board of 275 million USD, and equivalent to Ghana cedis for the purchase of gold. Why am I saying that it's going to go a long way to support the youth? The Galamseyers, and now that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has stated that taxes on raw gold should be taken off, this money will go a long way to support for the purchase of gold. And the suffering of all those who go to work with these small or minimum persons who deal in gold would benefit from it. Mr. Speaker, on paragraph 373 of the same page 71, we have 13.85 billion Ghana cedis for the big push. The big push is not going to be something that we think people can just sit down and enjoy for themselves. It's actually going to be a big push, and I know it would push and support the women and children out there. It will surely push us, and we would forge ahead. Mr. Speaker, this is a budget. This is a budget that has thought it wise to help us in the right direction. Mr. Speaker, on the same page, paragraph 374, we have 499.8 million Ghana cedis allocated for the no academic fee user policy. There were so many questions everywhere. How monies will be gotten for these payments? Here we are. The facts are here. It is in the budget statement. And at least for those who have the knowledge, especially but cannot pay, they know that they will be going into our tertiary institutions and they will not have that hue and cry of how to pay their fees. Mr. Speaker, what will we want more than this for these youth that are going into institutions and do not have money to pay? I think it's a very big achievement, and we need to continue to laud His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for this excellent thought. Mr. Speaker, uncapping of the GET fund. We all know what happened when the previous administration capped the GET fund. It became a very big problem. They even went to the extent of using the GET fund to take a loan. Contractors were not being paid. All projects came to a standstill. And sometimes you just wonder. Most schools, you could see schools, school projects, not no more going on, and children sitting under trees. Mr. Speaker, the uncapping will go a long way to help pay all these contractors, and also the school feeding. I overheard some people talking that why will they uncap GET fund and use it to pay or for the senior high school feeding? What are we really talking about? Why? Is it not part of education? Is it not for the projection? Is it not for the enhancements of education? If the money is under GET fund and part of it can be used for school feeding, what is wrong with that? I asked myself severally. Well, that is the thinking of another person who maybe doesn't think well about the goodness of our students. Mr. Speaker, let me thank His Excellency John Dramani Mahama once more for ensuring that he nominated a woman as a running mate. And eventually, today as we speak, we have a woman as the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. He hasn't ended there. He hasn't ended there, Mr. Speaker. All along the 8 years, we had been talking about sanitary pads for girls both in primary and JHS, because we saw girls selling eggs in order to buy sanitary pads. Some of them stopped schooling. A lot of absenteeism. Nobody paid heed to us. Today, provision has been made for the purchase and distribution of sanitary pads to our schools. For the girl child.
Honourable member, conclude.
Mr. Speaker, how many minutes? I have 15 minutes. For the girl child to be able to continue her education and go to school regularly. Mr. Speaker, I will not be able to end with my contribution without the fact that just a few weeks ago, we were worried about the fact that United States aid was being taken off. Mr. Speaker, in the budget, provision has been made of about 9.93 million Ghana cedis to help in claim payment, essential medicines, vaccines, payments, bridging that gap of what has been taken off, and free primary primary health care. Mr. Speaker, this budget is what we women of Ghana should carry shoulder high and know that at least our backs are being kept safe because of the support the NDC government is giving us and the recognition that has been given to we women. Mr. Speaker, on this note, I wish that we all support this budget statement and go along with it because it is the best that we can ever have. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Hajaladi. It's now the turn of Hassan Tampuli, Deputy Ranking. You have 10 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I rise to make some few remarks about the budget statement and economic policy of the government of Ghana for the 2025 financial year. Mr. Speaker, I have just a while ago described this budget as a Kosciuszko budget that is dealing with supposedly lean government but a very big stomach. Mr. Speaker, the president promised us 60 ministers, and thus far he's short of 4. Mr. Speaker, the whole idea of having a lean government is for us to be able to spend less in terms of maintaining governments. Mr. Speaker, in this case, and as far as all the discussion has taken place in this hallowed chamber, Mr. Speaker, it is so evident that the Office of Government Business has consumed everything in this budget. Mr. Speaker, we have, heard colleagues from the other side, make arguments to the effect that it is not what we are seeing in the budget. Mr. Speaker, we have only one budget. And the numbers that are stated in the budget do not lie, unless, of course, we are being told that the numbers that the Minister for Finance himself gave to us is incorrect. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to, at the outset, respond to a few things that the Minister for Energy stated whilst he was here. He said that price of petroleum products have gone down 3 times already. Mr. Speaker, that is true. There's a reason for that. Mr. Speaker, price of petroleum products are determined by 3 factors in this country: the price on the international markets, the taxes, levies, and margins on the petroleum products, as well as the forex. Mr. Speaker, what is influencing the current decline in the price of petroleum products is the price on the international markets, which has seen some decline in the last couple of weeks. Mr. Speaker, one of the reasons why we still have this current price or the tumbling of the petroleum prices is also because of the gold for oil deal, the policy that was launched by the S.W.L. Nana Addo Dankwa, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia governments. Mr. Speaker, as we speak, only last week, BOST discharged the last cargo that they brought under the gold for oil deal. The gold for oil deal has been one of the main reasons why we still have this stability in the price of petroleum products. At some point in 2022, Mr. Speaker, prices had gone up to 23 Ghana cedis. And by the singular intervention of the gold for oil deal, we have seen a remarkable decline, all the way to sometimes even 13, 14 Ghana cedis. And currently we are hovering within 14 and 15 cedis, depending on which product you are buying, whether you are buying RON 91 or you are buying RON 95. So, Mr. Speaker, the minister should have been telling us what intervention government had made, like we did in 2017. In the maiden budget of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo in 2017,
we took positive steps, Mr. Speaker, to revoke the excise duty on petroleum products. We did that here in this chamber. Mr. Speaker, we also reduced the taxes on the petroleum products from 17.5% to 15%. Mr. Speaker, we further took steps because this had made it ad valorem. And so it compounded the price. So if the price increases, it goes 15% of the price. So, Mr. Speaker, we took steps to nullify the percentage and then reduce it to a specific amount. That gave us some comfort and stability and some amount of predictability in terms of the price of petroleum products in this country. So, Mr. Speaker, when the minister spoke, I'm not sure what the government has done in terms of efforts at stabilizing the price of petroleum products. Zilch, nothing was done. Mr. Speaker, yesterday in this chamber, the minister responsible for finance was here to address this house, and he admitted at the bar of this chamber that this year the CD had declined by 5.3%, and he compared it to 5.7% in 2017 or so. Mr. Speaker, so that means that even the exchange rate has not been stable. So what exactly has the government done in terms of policy to be able to stabilize the price of petroleum products? Like I said, Mr. Speaker, there's nothing on record. Mr. Speaker, it takes me to the issue of electronic buses. God bless Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, former president of the Republic of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, he has brought in electric buses into this country. Mr. Speaker, we ordered 100 buses and 10 buses are in the country. Mr. Speaker, even today, I was behind one of the electric buses. Mr. Speaker, do you know what those buses do? Mr. Speaker, these electric buses, and I was looking at the budget of the Ministry of Transports, and Mr. Speaker, to my dismay, I haven't seen anything in relation to electric buses in this country. Mr. Speaker, our carbon footprints will be significantly reduced if we invest heavily in the electric bus ecosystem. Mr. Speaker, one time I went to a bus, factory in the Netherlands. And Mr. Speaker, they were manufacturing buses for Metro Mass Transport Company. And I asked the factory manager how many buses were electric and how many were internal combustion engines. To my dismay, I was told that 99.9% were electric buses. Mr. Speaker, the world is going very far. We cannot be stagnant where we are. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to encourage the Minister for Finance to provide funding to the Minister for Transport to be able to procure more electric buses in order for us to be able to reduce our carbon cap rates. Mr. Speaker, they are in the country. They are moving Mr. Speaker, there are 100 buses. Mr. Speaker, there are 100 buses. We have shown the way. And under Article 37.5, one government is enjoined under the Constitution to continue. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Tampule, you have 2 minutes more, but I recognize Honorable Agboja.
Oh. Mr. Speaker, this House should have facts. I went as far as checking the buses that were registered at DVLA. Only 10 of those buses were procured. They kept saying they bought 100 buses. Where are the 100 buses? You bought 10 buses. Look, I'm listening. I'm saying that stop using 100 buses because on record, you have only bought 10 buses. And even that, Mr. Speaker, where those buses can be charged, are very limited. If those buses get stuck in traffic longer than certain hours, they'll be stuck in the road because we don't even have enough places to charge them. So why do you keep using the word 100 buses when you have only 10 buses? 100 buses. Have you paid for it? Ordered. Mr. Speaker, they have an MOU with a Chinese company. MOU is what they have. You have an MOU with a Chinese company and you say you bought 100 buses. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable member,
I'm very shocked that the
did you
minister
say
would...
100 buses were bought
Mr. Speaker,
or 10?
we entered into an agreement to supply 100 buses. Mr. Speaker, and 10 buses have arrived in this country and they are on the road. Mr. Speaker, those buses were inaugurated in November last year and they are currently at the disposal of the Ghanaian people and they ran Adenta to Accra. Mr. Speaker, I have also seen in the budget statements that the government intends...
Should I direct that
Mr. Speaker, it's not
we ordered 100 buses be expunged?
Oh, we ordered 100 buses. Mr. Speaker, no, how? Mr. Speaker, we ordered 100 buses doesn't mean that they supplied 100 buses. They have supplied 10 and they're in the process of supplying the rest. Mr. Speaker, there is no contradiction in what I'm saying. Mr. Speaker, let him sit down and then I will continue. Mr. Speaker, I have also seen in the budget statement that the government intends to operationalize the whole airports into a maintenance, repair, and overhaul facility. Mr. Speaker, in the manifesto of the NDC for the 2024 elections,
conclude.
In that manifesto, the commitment was that the Tamale airports and the whole airports were going to be used for that facility. Mr. Speaker, the Tamale airport, in terms of the length of the runway, is just 3 meters short of Kotoka International Airport. Mr. Speaker, it has one of the best facilities, and on several occasions you'll find the Germans, you find the Americans, you find the British doing training at the Tamale International Airport. Mr. Speaker, I encourage the minister to, as much as he's looked at Ho, to also consider Tamale because it has most advanced facilities in the country. Mr. Speaker, the interventions in the aviation sector are far-reaching as far as the legacy of Akufo-Addo is concerned. The Kumasi International Airport is there, the Tamale International Airport is there, the Sunyani Airport has been rehabilitated, and the Sunyani Airport.
Honorable Sanja Nanja, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Sanja Nanja, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Sanja Nanja, you have 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity given me to comment on the budget statement and the economic policy of Ghana for the year 2025, which was ably presented to the House by the Minister for Finance on the authority of the President. Mr. Speaker, the budget statement for the 2025 that was presented to us by the Minister for Finance is, for me, is the foundation for building the Ghana that we all want. And the budget is of the people, by the people, and for the people. Mr. Speaker, for the first time in the history of our nation, that a budget presentation preceded an economic forum, an economic dialogue, an economic forum, and interaction with the ordinary Ghanaian to afford them the opportunity to give their inputs. And the budget meet the hopes and aspirations of the Ghanaian people. Mr. Speaker, today, the Ghanaian have hope. The Ghanaian youth have hope. The Ghanaian women have hope. The Ghanaian students have hope. In their budget, have hope. The vulnerable has hope. Mr. Speaker, the Ghanaian child who is attending school under trees has hope that with the uncapping of the GET fund, the 5,000 schools that the children attend schools under trees, they will soon be attending schools under classroom. Mr. Speaker, the Ghanaian youth who has no jobs have hope that with the 24-hour economy, they are going to get jobs. With the Ajumaura in this program, they are going to get jobs. With the digital job creating 1 million coders program, is going to offer them jobs. Mr. Speaker, one bold decision that this government has taken is to maintain the free senior high school and to deal with the problems, the challenges that are associated with it. And the headmasters have hope that now they can feed their students with the policy of decentralizing the procurement of food. Mr. Speaker, the child at the secondary school will now have hope that with the infrastructure that we are going to embark on, they will now attend school, have a reliable single track system and a reliable academic calendar. Mr. Speaker, one of the problems that is facing the whole country today is illegal and irresponsible mining, aka galamsey. Mr. Speaker, the president is committed. The president is committed to fighting galamsey. The fight for galamsey is almost a lost one, but President John Dramani Mahama has assured us through the budget and the initiatives that we are putting in place to fight galamsey without fear or favor. In respect of this, Mr. Speaker, the devastating impact on our natural environment, the devastated impact on our natural economy is so worrying, and there is hope that we are going to reclaim the degraded forest and to restore our polluted waters. These things are not said just like that. Substantial allocations have been made to combat this canker. Mr. Speaker, the Blue Water Initiative is going to ensure that our waters are restored. The fear, if we don't put measures in place, is that we are going to import water for this country. And His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will not just look on. Mr. Speaker, the Tree for Life is going to reafforest our lost forest. Most of our forests are lost to Galamsey, and laws are going to be enforced strictly. The laws are going to be enforced strictly, irrespective of whoever is involved. Galamsey is going to be an expensive commodity for us, for every Ghanaian who will get himself involved. And because of that, a whooping amount of 150 million has been allocated to fight Galamsey and also to restore our water bodies. If you want that man, go to page 44. Mr. Speaker, refer to page 44.
Honorable Sanja Nanja, please address the chair.
Mr. Speaker, to fight Galamsey and its related and to solve the related problems, challenges that Galamsey is bringing to us. So, Mr. Speaker, on this note, I would like to call on our friends on the other side of the house to join.
Honourable Member, conclude.
To join the bandwagon of resetting Ghana and build the Ghana that we all want. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, it's now the turn of Collins Adomako. Deputy Ranking, you have 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on the budget statement as presented. Mr. Speaker, one of the few people I love to listen to during debates is Mr. John Jenapo. But today, Mr. Speaker, I was a little bit disappointed. He says he went to Kumasi, and Mr. Speaker, I monitored him when he went to Kumasi. He visited two places. First, he went to the residency, and then he went to Menchia. These two places, Mr. Speaker, anytime there's light off, there's a standby generator to power those two places. If the minister had visited Swami, if the minister had visited Kegetia, if the minister had gone to Atinga Junction, if the minister had come to Efija Kwabre North, he would have realized that the power situation in Kumasi is one of the worst we are experiencing in decades. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, in Ashanti region, Mr. Speaker, the light comes on, goes off at 6 a.m., and it takes sometimes 14 hours before power is restored. In fact, Mr. Speaker, just yesterday, I was watching a news item, and residents of Adaklu on TV3, some residents of Adaklu are complaining of the power situation in the country at the moment. Mr. Speaker, some members of parliament, even from their side, have had cause to go on social media to complain bitterly about the power situation we are having in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, Even the Ashanti regional minister himself. Oh, minister. even the Ashanti regional minister, during the visit of the minister himself, had cause to complain about the power situation in Ashanti region. I was hoping that when the minister was on his feet debating, he would have sympathized with the businessmen who are having their costs of business go up. I was hoping that he would sympathize with them and give us concrete solutions to resolve the problem. Oh, relax. I was hoping that he would give us some concrete solutions to deal with the matter. Mr. Speaker, it was even my hope. Oh, Mr. Speaker, please protect me, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable member, if you will not address the chair and you want to be responding,
I'm addressing you.
You are eating into your own
Mr.
time.
Speaker, I'm addressing you, but the heckling is becoming too much. So I'm just pleading with you to protect me.
Yes, Honorable Achampo.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I don't usually do these things. The honorable member was a former deputy minister in charge of power. He just left power. And he's asking us that we should tell them the measures we are putting in place to deal with the situation. He should rather tell us what they started, of which we have deviated from. We call upon them to give us a timetable. The minister then told us to prepare our own timetable. And we are here telling us what are we doing?
Honorable Richard Achampong.
I'm on for that, and you are on your feet.
Honorable Richard Achampong. Honorable Richard Achampong.
Habib.
Honorable Richard Achampong.
I am your senior in this house.
Honorable Richard Achampong.
Sit down.
Honorable Deputy Whip. Please,
Mr.
resume
Speaker,
your seat.
I am addressing
Please
you.
resume your seat.
They failed to resolve the energy
Honorable
issue.
Richard Achampong, please resume your seat.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Habib, you should also resume your seat. Honorable Collins, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, no amount of heckling will change the reality on the ground. And the reality on the ground is that our lights are off. Our lights are off. He claims I was a former deputy energy minister. That's true, Mr. Speaker. And that is why I did not contribute to any light off in Kumasi. That is why I kept the light on. I assisted my minister to keep the light on in Ashanti region. I'm so surprised that my colleagues here and the minister is still blaming a government that has left power 3 months ago for the current power situation that we are having. Mr. Speaker, their job now is to give us the solution and fix the problem. When the minister was in this house just last week, Mr. Speaker, he was here in answering a question and said that we are not shedding any load. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, I have in my hand a publication of February 7th, 2025, where the minister said, WAPCO shutdown, government fixes power deficit, procures alternative fuel to keep the lights on. This was the minister. In spite of all these assurances, Mr. Speaker, the people of Fadaklu are complaining. The people of Swami are complaining. And Mr. Speaker, the most painful part of it is that the light-offs are occurring at the business districts. When you go to the Ashanti region, when you go to Swami, Kejetia, that is where businesses take place. As I speak to you now, Mr. Speaker, generators are blazing.
Honorable member, conclude.
Oh, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
It's 10 minutes.
Oh, Mr. Speaker. Well, Mr. Speaker, I don't need too much time to send my message across. The message is that the people of Ghana are suffering under the heat, and I expect the minister to focus his attention on giving us solutions and fixing the problem rather than blaming the government that has left power for the past 3 months. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the attention.
I will now proceed to give the floor to Honorable Sebastian Day. Camilo. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. He has 10 minutes. They say vice. And that's what they're saying. That's what they are giving me the indication of the time. Honourable Member, you have the floor.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I thank you for this great opportunity to comment on the budget statement and economic policy statement that was presented to this House under the theme, resetting the economy for the Ghana we want. Indeed, I am mindful of the time allocation or the time allocated to me, and I shall be very brief. I am also mindful of the fact that a lot has been said with regards to the figures that look behind us, and it's clearly been made on the floor of this House and known by the whole of Ghana, and for that matter the whole world, that we're coming from a very bleak past as far as our economy in this country is concerned. Indeed, the entire country passed that judgment when they voted to elect the 9th Parliament. And it is no doubt that we sit the way we sit in this House. Mr. Speaker, this budget statement is about resetting the economy to create an economy that we all want. And clearly it's been hinged on 3 pillars. And that was well articulated to us when the Honorable Minister of Finance came to present the budget to us. He made it clear that it's about restoring hope in our democracy, offering a trusted hand to the vulnerable, particularly women and the youth, and stimulating demand to make us patronize made in Ghana products. And that is what is linked firmly to what has become a household name in Ghana, known as the 24-hour economy. This policy has been elucidated on the floor of this House by no less a person but the advisor to the government or the advisor to the president on the 24-hour economy in the person of Honorable Guzitano, who came to this House to actually explain to us what the policy means. He did his best to tell us and give us the entire framework under which this policy would be implemented in Ghana. He told us, and for that matter, the legs, the tripod, or the legs on which this 24-hour economy is standing was all presented to us. So in my belief, I think that there shouldn't be any doubt on anybody's mind as to what really we mean when we say that we are going to, as a government, the government will lead the process of transforming Ghana's economy using the 24-hour economy policy. We were given all the actionable points, the entire strategy that will be followed to ensure that this policy becomes a reality that will drive our economy. Mr. Speaker, various economic initiatives that will be taken, or various strategies that will be taken, was also given to us. And let me use the opportunity to reiterate the fact that it was pointed to us that our SMEs will be focused on, agribusiness will be given a boost, manufacturing would have a very serious focus, supply chain enhancement would feature, there will be innovation and creativity as far as our industry to drive the real sector of our economy is concerned, and the entire nation will be mobilized to galvanize around this policy. For me, this is what will drive the policy for us to have a better economy. Mr. Speaker, given all this, I think that the implementation of this policy in a way that will drive the economy positively should not be in doubt at all. Because all the agents that will help in pushing this economy was given to us. And permit me to point out the fact that the role of skills development in ensuring that the right skills are generated, the right impetus is given to industry to be able to boost the economy was given to us. Indeed, all this was not left in doubt because the funding allocation for each of these things was also given to us. And with your leave, Mr. Speaker, let me point out just a few of them that we've been made aware. It's been made very clear to us that this nation has already held an economic dialogue for which the various aspects of things we need to do and things we must not do were made very clear. Safe to say that some people decided not to attend. Mr. Speaker, the national dialogue on education has also been held. Some aspects of what we need to do to drive the economy have also been pointed out to us, and they find great expression in the budget. The National Apprenticeship Program has clearly been mentioned as a way of driving our informal sector, our informal economy to be able to generate the necessary skills that will drive the economy or the drive industry and the economy for that matter. Various programs like the school feeding program that has become a part of our educational system in Ghana was mentioned as one that would receive a boost in the budget from the previous position of 134 million to 178 million Ghana cedis. Free SHS will be continued. Get fund will be uncapped. Capitation grant will be increased from 84 million to 148 or 145 million Ghana cedis. free sanitary pads will be supplied, and a budget of 295 Ghana cedis, no, million cedis has been made as provision.
Honourable member,
my
conclude.
Friends who are entering university for the first time, first-year university students would have this for free. There would also be a provision of 203 million Ghana cedis for teacher training allowances, and nursing training allowances. We also have 480 million. Mr. Speaker, with all this, myself and my constituents from Pando constituency are very much happy, and they have expressed 100% confidence in this budget. The budget is indeed a document that I am happy with, my constituents are happy with, because they know that under the big push, the road from Pando town to Toko will be done. The landing beach at Pando Toko, which serves between Pando Toko and then Afram Plains, will be done. They know that all the arterial roads that go to farming centers within the municipality will be done under the big push. They know that what buffer stock has been doing and has been deficient and fraught with a lot of problems, it will be curtailed because there will be decentralization on procurement of foodstuff for all our secondary schools. So my constituents have absolute confidence in this
Honourable
document.
Your time is up.
I thank you for the opportunity, and I say this with emphasis that this is the budget.
It's now the turn of
the budget. Thank you very much.
Honourable, very well, Honourable Achampong.
Mr. Speaker, respectfully, I want to seek your leave and the indulgence of the House to vary the order of business for the Finance Minister to lay some papers.
Yes, there is an application that we should vary the order of business to lay
Mr. Speaker, when Honourable Achampong a while ago was saying that I'm his senior in so when you want to make an application, you should actually either you are seeking the leave of the Speaker or the House. But if you say both, it means the Speaker needs to let the House. But I have no objection to it, except to guide him that I have been a leader more than 4 years. He's just been here 2.5 months. So let me teach you procedure, then you know. So I don't have a problem. I'll teach you procedure so that you know how the procedure is done. So, Mr. Speaker, we have no objection to that.
Honourable members. Yes, Honourable member.
I'm very grateful, Right Honourable Speaker. I wish to draw your attention to Order 64.1 of our standing orders.
Order
64.1 of our standing orders. I believe we don't form a quorum to be able to handle a business of this nature today. I have personally taken account, and we are less than 65 members. Look at the kind of business we ought to conduct. Look around, and where are your members? We don't form a quorum. We don't form a quorum.
Honourable members. Honourable members. Accordingly, we vary the order of business to take the item numbered 9 at commencement of public business. Order paper addendum. Addendum 2. Presentation of Presentation and first reading of bills.
An act to establish the Ghana Gold Board to oversee, monitor, and undertake the buying, selling, and export of gold, promotes value addition to the gold resources to the country and the responsible sourcing of gold, support and accumulation of gold reserves by the Bank of Ghana, generate foreign exchange, and provide for related matters.
Honourable members, the Ghana Gold Board Bill 2025 is presented and read for the first time and accordingly referred to the Finance Committee for consideration and reports. B, on the order paper addendum.
An act to consolidate existing energy sector levies.
Mr. Speaker, the addendum paper 2, the gold board. Mr. Speaker, with respect, if it can be done with the Committee on Lands and Natural Resources, since it involves natural resources of our country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader, the application is that it be referred to the Joint Committee, Lands and Natural Resources and Finance Committee. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I do agree with my colleague, but we can add the leadership of the Lands and Natural Resources Committee to that of the Finance Committee so that we can take the bill. Thank you very much. Leadership.
Mr. Speaker, this is a very important bill that the minister seeks to introduce, and it needs a broader, involvement of the two committees, because it's very important. If you look at the memorandum, and I think it is important that we do a joint referral, it will be able to help so that we can have a proper work on the bill.
Honourable members, what is the sense of the House? Honourable members, accordingly, the Ghana Gold Board Bill 2025 is referred to the Finance Committee and Committee on Lands and Natural Resources for consideration and report. Now, item numbered B on order paper addendum 2.
An act to consolidate existing energy sector levies to promote prudent and efficient utilization of the proceeds generated from the levies, facilitate long-term investments in the energy sector, and provide for related matters.
Honourable members, the Energy Sector Levies Bill 2025 is presented, read the first time, and referred to the Finance Committee for consideration and report. Yes, Honourable Habib.
Mr. Speaker, I rise under Standing Order 1633 in reference to Order Paper Addendum A, the Ghana Gold Board Bill 2025. If the Minister can give an explanation to this bill.
Well, Honourable Member, this order has to be invoked immediately. The item is under consideration, but not after the consideration of the item. So your issue is not raised timeously. Take a cue, and probably next time you can raise it timeously.
Mr. Speaker, I am guided. I'm guided, and Mr. Speaker, if you read the set standing orders that I referred to, 1633, it states that after the presentation of a bill, a member may ask the sponsor to offer a short explanation statement on the bill, and the sponsor shall comply. Mr. Speaker, even though it is not too clear that if it is itemized, when the first item is mentioned, because it was all in an addendum, that was my thinking. But Mr. Speaker, presiding, we are masters of our own rules, and you can actually.
No, member. Let's get it clear. The first item, numbered A, is Ghana Gold Board Bill 2025. The paper was presented, and after the presentation, you could even invoke the standing order before the referral to the committee for consideration and report. But in this case, that has been referred to the committee for consideration and report after your application that it be referred to Committee on Natural Resources and Finance Committee, which application was granted after due consideration. Then we moved from that item to item numbered B, that is Energy Sector Levies Bill 2025. And you are making the application after even the referral of this Energy Sector Levies Bill. Very well. Yes, Honorable Majority Leader.
Right, Honorable Speaker. I'm sure you are aware that these new standing orders are the subject of ongoing familiarization. We're all becoming familiar with its provisions and how to utilize the facilities provided in the standing orders. I think this is a novel provision that provides an opportunity for a minister bringing a document to speak to it at the point of laying. So, Speaker, I actually had discussions with my friends on the other side, and initially there was some opposition to it being laid today, but I concluded with them on the note that at the point of laying, the minister will indicate the policy base of the bill. And so if you observe, when you mentioned the bill, I stood up. I stood up because I was trying to honor a promise that I made to them that I would get the minister to at least give some background to the bill at the point of laying. And I also think that it is important for him, since he's here, to have that opportunity, given that this is a major policy issue in the budget that the minister presented to this House. So if he has taken a significant step towards implementing the major component of the budget, which is the gold board, which is the key tool for stabilizing the currency, I think that it is newsworthy. And so the minister should give some background to it, and then, we'll move to. So if, Mr. Speaker, can exercise your powers to at least make accommodation for the minister to give some policy brief on the bill.
Honorable members, let's look at the order carefully. I am mandated to give the opportunity, but if the minister presenting the bill is desirous of giving a short explanation, the minister may do so. And in this case, the minister is not desirous, so he didn't give the short explanation. Honorable members, where the minister did not give the short explanation, then a member may request the minister so to do. So from your explanation, if the minister were to be desirous, the minister would have given the short explanation. The minister did not do so, and a member is requesting. And the point that I'm making is that the request should have come and at the time that item was under consideration, not after the consideration of that item and consideration of another item. But well, we are masters of our own rule. I'll give the opportunity to the minister to give the explanation. Minister, you have the floor.
No, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, with respect. Mr. Speaker, with respect, we are going to set a very bad precedent, Mr. Speaker. When I made the application under Order 1633, your ruling to date was to the effect that my application was late. And then the same thing with the majority leader application to you. It's equally late because you had explained to me that I should have raised Order 160. So, Mr. Speaker, we don't need the explanation again. We don't need it. Mr. Speaker, let's move on. Mr. Speaker, suffice to say that, Mr. Speaker, the Member of Parliament for Odutubri, he raised an important issue under Order 64. Let's let the process kickstart, and then we can be able to, Parliament will see what we'll do. But at least the member raised the issue, acknowledge it, and even if the bell is ring, then we'll find a way to handle it, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Deputy Whip, when the member was raising the issue, I can see you clearly asking the member to resume his seat. So if he's mindful, he can raise the issue. Honorable Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, in trying to embellish his application, I revealed that it is important for government that the minister makes the policy pronouncement. When he realized that it is important for government for minister to make the policy pronouncement, he abandoned his application. But he's forgotten that I made the application. Because you dismiss his, then I made an independent application. You haven't opposed it. You haven't opposed it. No, but